Everybody should start doing them all.
I've been there. You come with that black coat on, I thought my old judge had a little bit of Thurman Thompson, he wore a coat like that.
Keeps you warm.
That and Charles White Rogers wore a coat or something like that too. But he had something like that different.
I don't have anything. It is.
We're at 6 o'clock, y'all ready to get this thing started? You gonna call the road?
Alderman Joyce. Here. Alderman Hill. Alderman Lawrence. Here. Alderman Falkenberry.
Here.
Alderman Morton.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
We'll stand for the pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of agenda.
Are there any changes?
Except mine. I'm with the last on mine.
But then can we approve with that change? I don't know why I'm a stickler on if it's gonna.
Well, I won't talk about the water stuff.
Well, if we're gonna approve the agenda, let's approve it in order.
I said in
Reorder.
reorder.
Then as changed.
Okay. Okay.
Move to approve as amended.
I'll second.
Approval of the minutes.
I'll approve the minutes.
Second.
Number 6. Public hearing.
This would be the public hearing for the second reading of the zoning, and I'm assuming no one is here from the public to talk about or oppose the zoning.
Any citizen input?
No, but I've had some input.
Okay.
I'll relay it. What about delinquent taxes? The letters that went out, when were they delinquent?
They're not delinquent. That's a gap on the software.
Okay.
My goal was to print out notices and send notices for still people who still owed, and it print out delinquent. It clearly states it's not delinquent till the end of February on it though.
Okay. I didn't pay much attention to that. Then today I was out and someone was pretty huffy at me.
Yeah, my goal is to send notices every quarter, and that's what I was doing.
Anybody else? Mark?
Of course, I'll take any questions about anything that was written. I got a couple of things that I don't think are in there. One, I've been talking with Clint and with Todd. We've tried to figure out the best way to create that parking behind the post office. And this is I'll pass this around. This is the only copy I've got. That's what we've come up with, and after talking to Todd, what we're going to try to do is create a situation where we improve that property that's owned by Clint in exchange for utilizing it for public parking. Like I say, Todd will have to help me work out the details of what that lease would look like over the next couple of months, and we could get that started maybe and get that bid in 2 or 3 months potentially.
What happened to them moving it down there to the Rex's side? That's been talked about for as long as I can remember now. Is it
The post office?
Yes.
The post office has a lease that is going to be and has been, to my knowledge, renewed as of this year with that current building. and that's nothing to do with this body, but you know, that's something between the federal government and the owner of the building.
I was just wondering if it was worth the money to throw into the parking lot. They were just gonna move it down the road anyway.
Yeah, and even if they did, I think that it would create some downtown parking that we don't currently have for the business owners. And once again, we'll have to go through and see what it costs, you know, what it bids out to be, and the board will have an opportunity to approve it or not approve it. I think we're getting maybe 30 spots or something like that out of it.
Let me ask you this, if we do this, is there anything saying he can't sell that and that goes with it and we're not allowed to use it no more?
That would be worked out in the contract.
That could be worked out?
Yes, sir.
So whoever does end up buying it, have to buy that contract as well with us, is that correct?
Yes, the thought would be we would enter into a lease, and we would record a memorandum of that lease so that anybody buying it would have to buy it subject to that or
That-
our
okay,
deal with the
okay.
town.
Who owns the property now?
Clint.
Clint Boma bought it from the Lions.
No, or was it from
Yes.
Lions Club?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was. It was.
It was bought from them. Clint owns it now.
Yes, sir.
Lions Club sold it to him.
Have y'all done any ballpark figures on what that lease would be?
How much? I'd say $1. Yeah, I mean, what he would be getting is,
A lot.
you know, some improved light, and what we would be getting is public parking. So all the cost would be in the capital project itself. It wouldn't be in what the lease is.
Sounds good.
But as of right now, there's not a lot in town for people to park there. Where they gonna be? Where they go? You got the beauty salon, you got Roosters, and the bank. Pretty much it, right?
Little parking behind the bank.
And when we come through there with sidewalks, there'll be even a few less.
There'll be a few less when you come to the sidewalks.
That's a little more parking for the tractor pull. I'm all about it. That's a great idea for me.
And I think it'd be a good idea to eventually talk to the Lions Club about potentially approving a little more on inside that fence if we needed, you know, 40 more spaces at some point down the line. Because there's not a lot of places to look for public parking downtown.
I'm all that for helping the Lions Club, don't get me wrong, but I also want to make sure the parking there is, we need it. And right now, I don't see it's needed, but coming later, like you're saying, how far away are we from the sidewalks and all that?
That is slated to start in the summer or fall of 2020 is what the projection is.
2020?
And then once that gets started, the second phase, if funded, would start, you know, nearly immediately following that.
I think I saw some blueprints at one time where we had some parkings in behind Roosters on that side of it.
I would love to be able to negotiate deals to get behind there and you know, be able to utilize that property as well. I just don't.
Was that in the drawing at one time?
I don't know of any plan that it's in. I know that we've talked about it before.
We've talked about that several times too.
But I think that would be smart for us to seek out, you know, something on that side as well.
And United Telephone owns part of that too, don't you?
I think they do on that grassy part back there.
Who's that mayor?
United Telephone.
United Telephone Company.
And that may be able to work out something for them too, since they want to help provide stuff for the city of Chapel Hill.
I think they would be more than willing to negotiate with us.
So what is there amount on that? You don't have an amount on that yet?
On the parking lot,
Yeah.
we've got an estimate of around 100,000, but I have no idea if that's going to be high or low. The other thing I wanted to bring up, or one of the other things I wanted to bring up is, you know, we bid out our trash contract, and Waste Management was the only one that turned in a proposal. They came in at the same price that they have now, and then once again, what brought this up in the first place is, you know, they're going to need to increase what they're charging us. Is that what? But either way, that's basically their proposal was what they had proposed in the first place before we bid it out. So, and that'll come up next month for us to vote on, and we'll be working out the details of how that contract will look between now and next month. I'll keep y'all posted. And one of the other things I wanted to bring up is, first of all, I want to apologize that I couldn't articulate, how some of our fire equipment was being utilized a couple months ago when this come up. But I've asked Matt to be here. Some question has come up about, why we utilize the ladder truck in some instances. And like I say, I wish I could have been able to articulate that. But Matt, if you want to talk about some of the reasons why and how it came to be.
Sure. So, excuse me. When we originally set out looking at a new truck project several years ago, it's probably been two and a half years ago when we started looking at it. One of the things we were trying to do was replace, two vehicles with one, or at least the equipment and the need to have two vehicles take the place of one. So we originally looked at getting a rescue style engine, which would have been a traditional pumper that had more storage to have all the rescue equipment on it. When we went to, I believe we were in the budget meetings, we started talking about the fact that, in a couple of years with all the development and everything, we might need to look at a ladder truck in several years. So the ladder truck serves the same function as a traditional pumper does, a traditional engine, and so we're able to get the compartment space on it where it would be almost like a 3-for-1. So it's got the regular fire truck engine pumper capabilities, plus the ladder capabilities for aerial stream or any kind of rescue you might need using aerial, and also all the compartment space and all the extra equipment and the weight capacity to carry that equipment to have all the heavy rescue equipment on it. So when we went through that planning process, we decided that's what we would do is get that truck, have all that equipment on it, and have it for those responses. So it was laid out at that time, all the equipment was laid out for that truck, and it was kind of built for that purpose as well. It has a lot of different capabilities on it that you might need on an accident scene. It's got a built-on foam system, which none of our other pumpers do. So we could have a foam if we had some kind of flammable liquid, whether it's alcohol, gasoline, diesel fuel, any of that kind of fire. It's got the system built in where with just a touch of a button we can have foam coming out. Instead of our other engines, you have to get things out and put things together and get buckets down and everything else to try to make that work. So those are some of the basic reasons. There's a lot more. If you want to go into more detail, I'd be more than happy to, but it's got a lot more seats. It's definitely safer. It can't go over 62 miles an hour. It's got a black box in it. If somebody slams on the brakes, it starts recording what's going on. Things like that. So.
And one of the things that we talked about the other day is it doesn't go out to every accident call.
No, it does not. It goes out to our high impact areas. So, if we get dispatched to a wreck at Nashville, Highway Needville Pike right here, it's going to go there because we've got people out there. It's going to go to Highway 99 and 31. It's going to go to 270 and 31. If we get any dispatch information that leads us to be where it's unknown, whether we don't know if someone's trapped or not, it's probably going to go on that one. If we know that they're out of the vehicle and it's not needed, we'll take other equipment instead.
I just won't have to say that my sister-in-law came in 2 days after Christmas and she couldn't get my rig. And there were 2 trucks there. One of them was pumper, so I mean the ladder. So if you're saying that one takes the place, what's the need for the second truck?
So because we're staffed by volunteers and there's not people always there, people are coming in and lot of times when people are showing up to these wrecks and they can't get through, we're intentionally shutting them down. It's not really due to the size of the truck and them not needing to get by. It's due to the safety of the people working the scene that the road shut down. So as soon as we can usually get someone loaded into the ambulance and gone, is when, you know, we'll check with the THP and make sure they're good with opening it, and we'll get the road open and get out of the way. But a lot of times the safest thing for everyone is to shut it down for 10 or 15 minutes. I know it's inconvenient, but you know, we can't risk somebody else getting hit too. It happens every day, all the time. It's a lot of firemen, EMS workers get hit in traffic accidents.
I'd sort of kind of like to ask, I mean, I love you sending us a monthly report, and you've got Station 1 and Station 2. Am I the only one that would like to know how many are to actual fires and how many are to
Accidents.
Okay. So break it out by call type, like medical call or wreck, or I can work on that. Sure.
Thank you, man.
Matt, recently, we talked the other day, we had complaints on it, and some of them are sitting in here, some of them are not, a lot of them are not, and I just can't. I can't see having all that equipment tied up on it. How much take to replace that truck today?
A ladder truck, $600,000.
$600,000 to replace it today. That's a whole lot of money. To be going, if we had a wreck down here on Bigger Street, somebody's trapped in a car, how you gonna get that truck down there?
You asking what route we're going to take?
Yeah, most definitely.
Broadview.
You're going Broadview. All right, where you gonna get in on Bigger Street? How you gonna get in there? You can't make a turn down through there and go either way when you get to Edmondson.
We go down Lawrence, Edmondson, or
You can't cut on Bigger Street off of Lawrence. A bus can't go through that, run in the ditch, and you're gonna carry a ladder truck through there. That's what I'm getting at. That's the only thing I'm getting at.
yeah. What's the name of the street you live on?
Bell.
We can get down Bell.
You get it on Bell.
Yeah.
Okay, you can make that turn down to the bottom and come out on Lawrence Avenue. Come out.
No, if we needed to leave,
If you
we'd
do, I
probably
won't see you.
If we did, we'd probably leave a different route where we could get to the intersection of Lawrence and Bears, so we could get to Biggers and Edmondson.
I don't think so. Woodside. I come up there and I ride with you one day and you can't ride. Because there's streets in town you cannot get that truck down. You can't make a turn unless you're coming up in the ditches over signs and everything else. We got tractor trailer trucks trying to come through there, or big trucks come through there. They can't get down through there. They have to park up there at the church and get a forklift to carry stuff down the road. They can't get it down through it. So we'll take a ride. But I agree with what you're saying. You know, it's all capable. But I'm saying that we got places. I am worried about in the county for the volunteer fire department. But I'm thinking about City of Chapel Hill that we're paying the bills for. What are we doing it for? That's all I'm wanting to know.
But is your concern running a vehicle that costs a lot of money?
No, I'm talking about worrying about a vehicle that can't get down some of the streets.
Okay.
I would,
The intersection of Lawrence and Bears would definitely be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think there's any other places that we wouldn't be able to get, and we could access it through a different route. Excuse me, we'd come up Bell Street, no problem.
The wheel span on that much different than
What we
school
do,
bus.
you had a
on
fire.
Tuesday when trash
What if you had a wreck,
It's
your main
bad.
fire truck was out of the crash, and then you had a fire somewhere. I mean, I
That's
guess-
what I'm trying to get at. We're sitting here and we're gonna send that ladder truck other side of Cave Spring down here, and we got a fire in North State Park or one of these big tall buildings here in town, or some of the two-story houses we've got now. You know what we're gonna do? I've seen the fire department go out from up here, go all the way to Farmington, carry everything with one truck down there. Except the only reason it did it didn't start.
There's no American France we had. That's one reason they didn't carry it. And that's the reason I'm saying we're dumping the town
We don't
with all
send,
the excess.
we don't send more than 50% of our resources out. Mutual aid.
And it's been done in the past.
I understand. Since I've been here, we don't do it anymore. It's in our agreements as well. We don't send more than 50% of our resources out.
For a wreck.
I don't
That,
understand.
when we went through buying that truck, that we understood when we bought it that it was gonna double as a rescue vehicle, that it was gonna replace our rescue vehicle that we had in service. That was one of the things we talked about
Yeah.
as we went through the budget process and as we went through buying it. And the fact that it could serve two purposes was one of the reasons that it
That
was
was
a
the
peak.
bonus.
Yes, I mean, that was the plan for, you know, that it was gonna serve multiple purposes was what we planned to do. So anything outside of that, you know, Matt and the fire department is just doing what we, you know, had planned to do. Anything outside of that would be outside of what we planned, would be outside of why we spent that $600,000 to begin with.
So if it won't fit, you need another truck?
Well, I mean, that was the thing. We were going to be tasked with, you know, getting two. So, and then in a couple of years, probably with the growth, we were going to need something like this anyway. So, we really condensed it down, you know, 3 down into 1.
That was the way it was explained to me. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know how stuff works. Does it make sense to use the ladder truck as the last truck that goes out? Or is that what you do?
It depends on the type of call.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But like for a wreck.
if it's a serious call, one of the reasons we send it first is
Because of the phones.
if we only had, if for some reason we only had one person there, it would have water and the hose and the phone to deal with any kind of fire or you know, fuel spill or anything like that, and then would have all the rescue tools on in case someone was trapped.
Oh, okay.
So that's another
So
reason
it
why.
has more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's
It's all in one
Yeah.
unit, and that's one of the reasons we got something with that much department space, and it was laid out that way.
Multiple issues.
If I could direct him the big point.
I have another question.
Okay.
I see that Assistant Deputy Chief of Fire has resigned. Have we named another assistant?
So we had a deputy chief and an assistant chief, and the deputy chief did resign, and we're probably just gonna eliminate that position and have it replaced with just the assistant chief. So we also have 2 captains as well that help us in the chain of command.
Who are they? Who's your assistant chief?
Josh McLaren.
Was this written wrong? Chad saying that he has stepped down as assistant deputy chief. There's a difference between.
Yes, it was just deputy chief. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Deputy chief. There was
Okay.
So there's fire chief and then deputy chief and then assistant chief, and we're just not
Okay.
gonna have a deputy chief.
Gotcha.
I ain't got one question. I'm easy.
That's all I got, unless anybody's got any questions about anything else.
I do.
I do too, of course.
Go ahead.
I'm thrilled about the possibility of a train at the park. What's the status on that? And is it looking likely? Or?
I'm having a conference call in the morning. I think that we're gonna have the ability to get a caboose if we choose to have one. What I'll learn more about tomorrow is what it would cost and take to get here. It would be donated itself, but there would be some cost and effort in actually moving it, and we would have to have a little piece of track to set it on. So there would be, you know, some cost to us to do it, and that's what my call will be about tomorrow. So I'll be able to report further on that tomorrow. And I've talked about if we do get it, using it also as a catalyst to for applying for a grant through the health department for a train themed playground that kind of attaches to it. So I'll know more tomorrow than I know today about that, but I do know that we will have the opportunity to have it. I do believe.
Would that be considered an attractive nuisance that kids get on it and fall off of their heads? I don't care if they do it.
Well,
I just think it's so cute.
Like I say, I'll have to know more about exactly what they're offering before I can say that. There may be some safety things that we have to do to make sure that nobody gets where they're not supposed to get, or
Plexiglass so they can't get in it.
There are all kinds of ways.
or if we wanted to utilize it for whatever. Like I say, I'll know a lot more after my call tomorrow.
I have one more question, which isn't important either. Over on your second page, you said we've discussed ways to provide information to the public on a regular basis.
Yes.
And what did we come up with?
Well, we'd actually talked about. I was in a conversation the other day about can we do take any issue that comes up that we feel like we're struggling getting the right information out to the public. Could we do a little I don't know, funny video of some kind and put it on our web page and on Facebook that kind of goes through showing what a situation is and explaining what we're trying to do about it. For instance, if we wanted people to make sure that they don't put their trash can out in the street or something along those, it could be anything. Just trying to come up with some kind of little vehicle that we could get some information that we want out in the public, get the right information out in the public. And right now it's just at an idea stage. Just trying to think of new ways to get people informed about some of these little things that we would like for them to be informed on.
Chief Gunn started using Facebook. Do you have the Chapel Hill Police Department on Facebook yet? No, guess not. Anyway, Chief Gunn's been using it. He's been things like the trash pickup. He's put that on there, getting information out. The speed limit things, statistics for all that. It's been pretty cool. He's used different little characters and such to do it. I like it.
Well, I do too.
I like it.
I'm old and old school. I still want to toss around the possibility of a couple of times a year sending out a paper flyer. And I'm probably the only one that will read it. But
I think the older people like us, that's the only way to communicate with some of the.
Put that in your list.
Like that.
We did.
There's younger people that would like it too.
Are you talking about just like it
would require putting the bills in an envelope.
No. Don't put the bill in the envelope.
Well, if you put it on the bottom of the little thing, nobody's going to read it.
Like an annual update of
Saying,
what's going on.
brush pickup is on Wednesdays.
We got to send that water bill or sewer bill, water and sewer bill separate.
Yes.
Because if I get one from the city up here, I'm gonna shuck it unless it's that little square bill. I'm not gonna look at it.
Jack, you don't like the flyer.
I'm not gonna look at it.
Well, we could do it
Well,
separate.
you can get on
It
the
needs to be
computer.
separate. Well, I don't
Oh,
have
it's
a
separate.
computer.
I see. Well, you went to check in?
With the computer? I ain't got one.
No. If you got an envelope, if you got your bill today, and next week you get an envelope from town.
I ain't gonna look at it.
So,
How would
can we
we get our
staple it to the bill? Yeah.
You send an envelope, but I want my water bill separate.
Okay, but
I
you
don't
said
want
you're
to put
gonna
it
check
inside.
the envelope.
I'll open it up and see what it is, and I'll probably throw the trash right there so with.
But that just
But a
among your
lot of people will not open that envelope up to look in there. I know they won't.
Says it's official.
Well, you can make a If they ain't gonna look
Put
at it,
Jackie King's name on it.
yeah, I don't care what you put on, they still ain't gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one on
Is that,
too.
y'all agree with that? Now,
I don't, but,
you don't?
you know, I'm
I'm not,
strange.
I'm not for putting a water bill inside of him. If Sally no good down the road for me, ain't got her water bill. Sally no good ain't gonna pay her water bill.
Well,
But Sally no good may not look in that envelope because she think it's something else that they done set out a mistake on some taxes.
I
understand what I'm saying?
Or
So
it
you're
could be
talking about
good
a
news.
flyer should be like the
Yeah,
church
yeah.
flyer.
Right. Whatever. Church
That's
flyer,
not a
whatever.
bad idea. But that's just, you know, if put that on your list of possibilities.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not gonna set my hand on fire.
No, don't do that.
Okay, I wanted to ask about the trained public information, when we are at risk, and we have designated Chad as that one. I'm a little shocked, I'll say.
But right now, we only have two that have been trained, and I'd like to get some training on that myself.
Well,
But,
just to be honest, I thought that was part of your position.
well, I mean, that's not saying that I wouldn't be the one on camera. That's just saying that I'm going to go get some advice from someone who's been trained on such things. You know, if that training happened very often, it's not the kind of training that I see. It's the kind that I'll have to seek out. But yeah, that's not saying anything, but that's someone who's going to be able to give trained advice versus winging it.
Okay, well, I got a little comment on that. I think it's the chief police we got, I think the fire chief we got, and I think you and this city board right here, if they can't answer the questions in front of a camera to answer the news media, and me or anybody else, we don't need ourselves. That's my opinion. I don't want Chad or Matt to talk for me for the city of Chapel Hill. And I don't think nobody around this board does. I'm satisfied that chief of police don't. I don't think the fire chief does.
I don't want to speak to any.
But I don't want somebody.
But I was thinking the mayor and Mark, and I don't care if we have a public information.
But I think that if the chief of police cannot speak in front of a camera and give that as much training that he's got,
yeah,
we don't need him. If the
I
fire chief can't, we don't need him.
agree, but maybe I misread it, but I understood that, not that anybody couldn't, but it's just more productive to have one person do it. So to get
But I don't want one person designated to talk for me.
Well, you're the
Do
mayor.
you?
It kind of depends on the situation, Judge.
I'm satisfied the chief of police don't want anybody to speak to him because that man may not know what tickers he can put out in the newspaper or on the air, what he can put out before the court thing starts.
Exactly. That's why we're designating one person.
I'm not. You don't understand what I'm saying. That one person cannot speak for the chief of police. Whoever you want to be, I can't speak for the chief of police.
I get you.
Because he's the only one supposed to know what he can put to the news media.
Do you not remember the meeting we had a couple months ago here, Jackie?
Evidently, I must have missed part of it then, but
Because we discussed this pretty thoroughly just a couple meetings ago.
well, I don't. Well,
We need one media representative. Is essential. Is that not what this is, Mark? A media representative, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
In other words, what I'm looking at right here, is we're fixing to hire Matt or Chad
no.
to organize and be our spokesperson
No, we're
for the
not.
town.
We're not hiring anybody to do anything. What we're doing is leaning on the training that we have in place to give us advice in the time of need.
To give us advice, not to speak.
Well, to speak if necessary, but you know, a PIO is something that many places have, and it's something that's going to be recommended by an insurance company. It's going to be recommended by a legal environment. You know, this is not uncommon, and it's not saying that anybody has to speak for anybody else. I mean, anybody in this room is more than welcome to jump in front of the media and say whatever they want to. But when it comes from official, when it comes to official statements from the town of Chapel Hill, I think it's very smart to lean on your attorney, lean on training, and lean on people who are trained on what to say and what not to say in front of the media. That's what I'll do. If the media comes to me, I will get a lot of advice before I say anything. Everybody else is free to do whatever they feel like.
But you know, we don't want to get in a situation that if Chief Khan has got a problem, has got a big case coming up, we've had something happen here, and him just walk up to, and all of a sudden pop down, this man right here, or whichever, jumps down there and says, I'll make a comment. He speaks for Chief Khan, and he might put out something that really, that he was on something. He might have been there as on the fire department or going up as a backup or whatever they were doing there, and let something leak out to hurt Chief Khan or his officer's case. We're not going to do that.
That's not something that would happen. You know, a PIO is not going to jump out and just talk, just to talk. A PIO, if it had something to do with the police department, would meet with Chief Khan and decide who's going to speak and what you're going to say.
Okay.
But I
and
would
who's
assume
going to
that
say
would
it.
be you.
Well, I would be involved, certainly.
I would assume you would be the spokesperson. This would be the person that would, basically, a full-time employee of our government would be the one that would do the speaking. I understand you lean on them to talk to them and get advice, and Todd.
Right.
But I would think you would be the one to be in front of the camera.
I have no issue with being the one in front of the camera.
But he needs to check with Chief Khan before he does that.
I mean, I don't think
You know,
it would just be that if the news came out here, they would automatically seek him, and his name would be publicized to be the one to go to. I would assume they would know to go to the fire chief if it involved that. But I don't think that would be the one designated as our public speaker.
Yeah, ultimately, most things are going to come to me if it came to the media. And then, but yes, what I'm saying is I'm going to get advice from people who have been trained in such things. I'm going to get advice from Todd before, you know, we speak about things, especially when it comes to things that are very sensitive and could be subject to bring more media attention to the town of Chapel Hill than what's necessary if we said the wrong thing.
Well, I think it's also obvious if there's something that pertains to the police department. Anybody would go to the police department, and I feel certain the chief would. He's not going to say, let me refer this to somebody else. In the fire department, I think it's a good idea, and I hate to agree with Mark, but to keep people like me from talking when I don't know what's
Oh, I'm going to
going
refer
on.
them to Mark. I'm
Yeah.
not going to refer them to
Mark.
this designated, because that's what throws me off. Designated. He's designated as our public information officer. That means if he's designated, I take it that that's who you're going to go to. Kind of like.
What that means is if someone were to approach one of our employees, I would say we need to have a conversation, and you need to have a conversation with this person and myself before anybody says anything to the media, and that's just smart business.
Unless it's something urgent, they're going to come to you anyway first. Am I correct? If you had some question about business, you tell me who you would go to first.
Yeah,
Business ain't go to market.
Yeah. I just want to clear up a few things. A PIO is not somebody that's going to speak for anybody. They are like an incident. I can recall we had with the fire department, and Matt remembers it was at the park. If we had a PIO or somebody in place, we could kind of hold the media at bay and give them information until we get with the chief or whoever and find out what their time frame is to get to the media. It's more of a liaison type deal. It's not a spokesperson per se. It's not somebody that's going to be out there speaking for anybody. It's just to try to help orchestrate it if there's a media event to just help out is what it is, and to get the correct information out. So, because if the media is not getting it from, you know, if somebody wanted to ask you a question, Mr. Mayor, and you didn't immediately give it to them, they're going to start seeking out answers, and they'll go to the next person, on and on and on. And it doesn't matter if it's right or not. They'll just put it out there. So what a PIO could do is help orchestrate, get the media in a certain area of JIC, and just say, hey, as soon as the mayor has a comment, we're going to set you up in 30 minutes. He'll be out here to speak with you, and then you go do your thing. But it's not to speak for anybody. That by no means. I don't want to be the one out there speaking for anyone. It's just to help orchestrate it. You know, help whoever needs it. So, just I hope if that clarifies up anything.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an alarmist, but in reading that whole sentence, is there something, I don't know? I mean,
one of the things that we talked about in a meeting a while back is the potential of
a meeting.
A group that potentially may end up, say, at Henry Horton Park, and that may cause media attention that we've never had before.
Okay, but I think it's great to be getting ahead of that, because you know, like when the last one happened, you and the mayor spoke for the city, and that was perfectly appropriate.
Correct.
So, okay, I don't know. I'm free.
I'm okay.
I don't have anything else.
Sure.
I'm positive.
Codes report, I've got it.
We want to talk about we don't talk about the fire department report. We didn't comment on that. Police report. Anything on that? Any questions on it? He's looking. He got one opening left, and he's hopefully going to hire here in a week or so. Looking at it.
We're looking at it.
Okay.
Local.
I don't have any definitive answer.
What we're hiring them for, what is it?
We've got one open
We got
police
one
officer
open.
spot.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to fill it up, and I don't know whether you ain't told me who you were or anything else. We had two. One's qualified and one's not. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm going to go with the one that's qualified,
Yeah.
but that's not my call.
All right. Treasury report. Any
I
comments
want
on
to have
that?
the codes report.
Codes report.
Did we skip?
They had a meeting, they had one, the first meeting for the codes come up, what?
January the 7th. It's right here.
And what did we come up with that one?
We came up with, we want to try to talk about and tackle things kind of one at a time. And the first thing we want to take on is looking at our ordinance on junk vehicles. See if there's any recommendations that come out of there that you know, we want to change, or do we want to keep it the same. I do know that there's one thing that we are going to want to change if legally possible, and that's the number of days that we have to allow someone to get a situation resolved. I think right now it's 60 days, and we had talked about going down to as few as 10 days if we can to get that resolved.
I didn't see nothing in there. I saw where he said 60 days, but I didn't see where.
Well, this was written before we had the meeting.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah, that was talking about we were going to have a meeting.
Yeah.
And then, but once we had it, we talked about our junk vehicles being the first thing that.
But I didn't know we were having the meeting, and that's a little bone of contention.
I didn't know what was going on down here.
we talked about it because I volunteered to be on it.
I didn't see it.
We talked about it.
Oh, I know we talked about it. I just don't remember when we set the meeting. And I read the paper pretty.
It was not set at that
I
time.
don't think so either.
It was not.
Because I was going to be on it.
The date was set. But really, I'm excited about it. I think
But you just played favoritism. You pointed one, didn't point the other that volunteered.
it wasn't. I wasn't appointed. I just showed up.
Nothing's been appointed. The group that I remember that volunteered, and I apologize, Mike, I don't remember you wanting to be on it. Got together and talked about what we were going to try to accomplish. But everybody is certainly welcome to come.
And I would encourage you. We're going to meet every Thursday at 3 o'clock.
Every
Monday.
Thursday.
But
I want to be public information.
Every Monday at 3 o'clock.
Except next Monday we will not because of the holiday.
once again, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do to be of benefit to. We're trying to figure out first of all what we're going to try to accomplish. I mean, that was.
Y'all come up with these solutions and still have to go in front of this board to approve them?
That was,
Yes.
I mean, we can't, that little ad hoc board can't do anything, but what we tried to get together and discuss is what can we accomplish.
I understand.
And like I say, anybody, as far as I'm concerned, like, it's not necessarily an official board unless the board or the mayor appoints it. So right now it's more of a discussion that's going to help give recommendations.
So what we're saying is pretty much the codes department is inactive.
No. Well, how do you get that?
Well, I see a codes report and I don't see anything on it except we're going to meet, we're going to make some more rules. I don't see what we've done. I don't see any place we've gone and written a letter here. I don't see anything that's been accomplished by that. That's what I'm look for in a report, is what you've accomplished, what you did.
Well, I mean, y'all keep telling us what you want on these reports, and we'll keep trying to make them like you want them.
I understand that Chad didn't know what we wanted to report, and I think if we give him, I think he'd probably put the number of times he gets a drink of water if we ask him to. So we want the information about letters that have been sent, and that makes perfect sense.
I mean, I'm not asking for, these are like notes or minutes.
Right,
I'm just asking for.
So I agree.
I mean, that's what I have tried to say over and over. When I was working each day, I put what I did down.
Yes. Well, I believe
and that's a report. That's what a report is for me.
But right now we do have a
So I
code in
know.
town for vehicles being on the lot. We're working on getting one more.
No, we've got one.
Okay.
Our intention was to review our codes and see what recommendations we may want to bring to the board. But if that's not what we want to do, then we'll do something different.
I guess I didn't realize we had one for the vehicles.
I understood that
Yeah, we got one there
Yes.
for junk vehicle stuff, but it's hard to enforce. All they do is move it over 6 foot, it's
And
through.
they've got 60 days.
They got 60 days to do it, so they need to try to get it lowered down. You got 10 days to get that vehicle off your property or get it running and get it tagged, the whole purpose.
Is there a lot of them?
Right.
Is there a lot of vehicles around like that?
That's several problems.
Several of them.
Except now if you've got one sitting in the yard and it's got a disabled veteran tag on it, you best leave it alone because the government don't like it. The tag's worth for it.
What if
Well, yeah, it has a
Well,
tag.
it's in the
That's
back
the
property and it's something restoring or working on,
Right.
they can have that?
Mhm.
Or they're not allowed to do that?
They can have it, but you don't need 15 of them sitting out in the yard.
No.
Like going down there in the other street, I mean at Circle Street there in front of Rex's Food Land. You know, they got a right in the middle of the neighborhood, and it's a, I don't know what you want to call it. They work on everything from
I know you're talking about.
a scooter down to up to a trailer truck. That's what they're trying to get. That's
You
what
gotta
I've been
stop
pushing.
somewhere.
We got to stop somewhere. We can't do that.
But I understood the purpose was to make the codes enforceable. If we're gonna have codes, make them able to be enforced. And then
If we've got the right ordinance set there for it, it can go in front of our city judge.
right,
Then if she puts a ruling down, you've got to do this right here, then he can appeal. Think of right, got the general sessions. And then the general session can make a ruling on it, and she can appeal it to the
right.
grand jury.
But what I meant to say was, take for instance the junk
Right.
car thing. In practicality, it was not enforceable because by the
We
time
didn't have an ordinance to
Well,
cover it completely.
Okay.
Completely.
And
What it
the
was
time
to do it, you had
was
60
too long.
days,
Loopholes. There's too many.
and then they could pick it up and move it.
Exactly. That was
To get it
the
going.
point.
They got 60 more days.
But I would like to eventually, that's why I'd like to have support, get it, you know, I'd like to go through the codes and let Mark and Chad tell us, you know,
I agree.
this works, this doesn't work, how can we tweak it? You know, everybody discuss how to tweak it. And then I'd like to get a little bit into the prettification. I don't want to go overboard, but
Much junk
you know,
can have
make-
inside your house.
yeah, how much junk I can have in my yard, and you know, just get cause I think a sense of pride or whatever is contagious, and you know, if we, you know, had pick up junk days, and how tall you guys can get, and I don't want to, you know, make it a law or anything, but just so that you want to keep it. You know, I got to keep up with this litter, and that ain't easy. But anyway, that's enough for me.
Well, while we're on that, I have another question. What are this is totally off of that one, but it's a question that, what are our setbacks and somebody asked me that, on the side from property line to,
It depends on what zone you're in. If you're in a R1, for example, it's 15 feet, and R2 is 10 feet. I think an R3 is 10 feet as well. Does that sound correct? And then some of your business district may have a 0 lot line.
okay, what's Bigger Street?
That's going to be an R2. It's going to be 10 feet.
From the center.
It means from the property line where a structure is being built, you have to be 10 feet off the property
On
line.
the property line. See, my house is 10 foot
Off the property
off
line.
the property line.
So I'm in R2, is that,
I think so.
Well, you can sell 3 lots on the corner.
You want to be able to if you want to.
yeah, but.
It's okay, I want to go commercial, we want to buy it.
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
y'all gonna
you're-
get back
you're
with
R2.
us then on this
No, I just had some, and it wasn't about mine, I just had someone ask me about something on Bigger Street.
Yeah, that blue is gonna be R2, and then the green is R1.
And y'all meet every Thursday?
Monday.
Every Monday at 3 o'clock.
That's
That's
every
three
Thursday, but,
And once again, this is just us trying to
It's
start a
very good.
Get
conversation.
started.
Yeah, I mean, this is nothing official. We're just
Oh, I
trying to
understand.
go through the code and make recommendations. Okay.
And while we're talking about Baker Street, where are we at with that water line? So, I keep getting phone calls.
They
on-
just got it approved, got their bacteria sample back today and got it approved, so they should be ready to button everything up. And
Are we doing anything with Joe's bill where I guess somebody backed over his water line while they were working right there? Are we doing anything with that? Sorry, answer.
I think they actually found that he replaced his water line going into his house, and
Okay.
I think that solved his problem.
Okay.
But his problem has been solved. I'm not sure the
Okay,
details. of it.
yeah, the phone call, I want to make sure I'm giving the right answer.
Yes, sir.
Anything else on the codes? Treasurer's report, any questions on it again? Mr. Lowe? I looked at it and didn't see anything out of ordinary. Just keep it under ordinary.
You got it.
Yeah, yeah. Old business, any old business? This is any new business?
I got some new business with the water board come up with the last meeting. Chris has got some numbers that y'all want to ask him. We have got our new numbers out of the rates that we want to increase our water that we have to do. And we put forward in front of y'all that we're going to go ahead and increase the full amount at one time. And the amount I think was going to be, how much, Chris, total?
45%.
45%. So that's up for discussion. It's a big discussion I think we should have. I think everybody's aware of what's going on.
Let me run this by you. It's 45% now, or by July, if we raise it 30% and then jump it another 15% in July, it's really going to be like 49%. Because you got the increase over this and you're going up 15 more percent when I do it all at one time. I'm not for raising up a dime, but we ain't got no way around it. The state's going to make us do it.
It's going to have to happen. I guess the question is, do we do it all at once?
I believe we treat it like a Band-Aid, just rip it off and be done with it.
Well, that's what our
I know
board
it
really.
sucks, it's gonna suck one way or another.
The only thing, if somebody, we'll talk about the other stuff right here, but y'all keep it back of your head, some kind of, something, a recommendation that we raise the rates to this right here, to that percent, or whatever percent y'all want to raise.
I'm with
Or we
Ron, I
want the
think we,
state to take it over
Then we're
and
really
tell us what
agree.
we're gonna do, and then it costs these other people more.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse, you can,
I think we have to do it, and we just have to do, like Brian said, we just have to do it all at once.
Now, what,
But before we sit here and make a motion, I want somebody, I don't care if it's a public information officer, see, okay? Let these people know before that water bill hits that their bill is fixing to go up.
and I'm with you 100% on that one too.
And I think a little
We're not gonna-
envelope would be a good.
And I'm not talking about the paper.
This needs to be a face-to-face thing, whether it's at the park or the gym, put out a notice of some kind, get a town meeting together.
Whatever.
Whatever we gotta do, the public's gonna have to
They
know.
need to know that their water bill is fixing to go up
Absolutely.
45%.
Absolutely.
That's water and sewer both, people.
Within a couple of months, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm all for it, Jack. I think we need to tell them somehow.
They need to know somehow, whether it's,
The ones I hear,
Yeah,
Jackie,
carry
on the
to
letter,
whatever, I
that's
don't
not
care.
gonna work. Stop it.
but,
When we go to every house and read every meter, there's
no,
something.
no.
We don't.
No, it's all digital now,
Or
right?
is it all digital?
Most of it is, except
The vast majority, except for some of the big ones.
Some of the bigger ones.
But I think we're gonna have to try to look look at ways we can conserve on how we spend money in the utilities. And I do think if you're going to raise your rates that much, jointly you're going to have to look at ways you can save money.
Okay, now while that's in the back of your head, we went to Whitwell. It wasn't a happy visit down there. Has anybody ever been to it?
To what?
Whitwell, Tennessee.
To visit the people that got the water bought out.
We went down.
The same people's wanting to buy us out, bought them.
Okay, it's, you ride through parts of Columbia, you see them trailer parks, that's what Whitwell look like. They got 15 million, I got $1,500,000, $1.5 million for their water, didn't have sewer. They can offered us $2 million for ours, having a slap in the face, I think.
No wonder they wanted to buy it. They would have bought it immediately.
Of course, we're scheduled to lose $300,000 this year too, which figures into that
Right.
that number.
So I don't know. I mean, you know,
That's a lot.
I hate
It
to
is a
raise
lot.
the rates up, but we're gonna have to raise them up. If we're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. And I say, in my opinion, I think we ought to just go in and do it one time, and then its first year, it might have to go up that 3%.
So
But we're gonna have to do it because I'm trying to save them money. You know, either 30% today, and then go up to 49% in July, or go to 45 now. We don't have to do nothing the first year. We're gonna save 4.5%. I mean, we're gonna gain a little money in there in those 3 or 4 months. But now it's up to y'all. I'll beat my brains out on this one.
So we're going to lose. We're going to lose 300,000 this year.
Yes.
You saw we're already at 150,000.
It's climbing. This year it's going to be maybe worse. Depends on the population.
It's going to be over 300,000.
Because we're buying water.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily. Because the rates are so low and our expenses are.
Yeah, what would they say 10 years ago? If we did 3% for the last 10 years, we wouldn't be in this finagle. Our former leaders did us 30 on this one.
That and
Other reasons.
Well, and also
cost
because
us more.
of our capital expenses that we're having to take on.
That's it right
There's a whole lot of variables in that number, and it's been trending that way for a long, long, long time.
Well, I'm going to be with the mayor on this. Somehow or another, we got to come up with a solution for the town to know. I think we'd leave them out too much. This is one of them. They're going to have to know, and I want them to figure it out. However we do that.
Well, I think if we have a town meeting, it's gonna be a fiasco.
I think there's maybe a paper or something we can give them.
We need to
Just provide information,
Provide
but
information.
not have a debate about
I agree, because it can't be a debate. It's going to
it.
happen.
Right.
It's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
It's either us do it or the state do it. And that needs to be put in there.
I agree.
It's being put down from us.
I agree.
To the people here. But we need to let them know this thing's hit them in 2 months.
We'll do whatever y'all recommend, but as far as the water and the sewer and the board is concerned, we've already recommended from this board to go ahead and pass the 45% at one time.
From the water board,
From the water
that's
board.
recommended it to
Water and
this
sewer
board.
board.
And I'm going to recommend from this board to go ahead and do it.
I don't see that we have any choice.
That's the
whether
thing.
Well, I
we
hate to
want
say it,
to or
but I'm going to make the motion to go ahead and do it. And set a deadline within 2 months of having it done.
Almost done.
Effective in 2 months.
Effective in 2 months, go ahead and have it done at 45%. So I'm going to make that motion and do it within the month.
Yes.
Won't you let us get the information out and then
That's what I'm gonna say,
We'll take a proper
within the next
resolution
month, get the
next month.
information out. That gives us 2 months, 1 month to get the information out. That's
Let's
it.
get the information out and we'll make the resolution next month.
yes.
Next month. I was going ahead and do it in 2 months.
Yeah, we'll put it on make sure it's on the agenda with a resolution for
Right.
next month. Yeah.
Okay.
And how we come out with the information, we gotta come up as a group and figure out how that's gotta be done.
Send them a letter. Every one of them.
But see, that's where you said earlier you don't open it. That's kind of the
No,
bad
no,
idea
no,
there.
no.
What I'm saying,
Yeah.
some of them may not,
Okay.
but I want to throw the water bill away.
Oh,
That's in
absolutely.
it. You know, that little note on the bottom, who looks at the bottom?
I don't, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
You know, send them a letter. Let them know. And do it. If we got to send it to them certified.
Which is just to utilize all the
If you need
media
a hang, you
outlets.
can put it on the door. I'll volunteer to drive to every house here and do it. I'll do it. They're gonna have to know somehow.
Yeah, I'd rather hand it to them.
I have to.
Either that or put it in the mailbox for them.
And I'll be involved in it if I have to be. I don't know how else to do it.
You hang on my front door, they'll probably sit there and drive lots.
That's not
Nobody comes my front
That's a
door.
guideline. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. I've been getting phones up. Miss Dalladress, I think it's the little lady's name. She just moved here from just south of Canada. She called. We had a wonderful conversation the other day, and I told her what little bit I could give her an honest answer on. So I mean, yeah.
So do we need a vote on go ahead and getting that started? We're just gonna go ahead and put it on for next month? Okay.
Just when we get started, get the letter up, we'll look at it, we'll get it to them.
Good.
And then if I call y'all, you gonna come look at this letter, that's good to go. When you get the letter
I
ready.
guess you could also put an ad in the paper as well, though. Just
Oh, yeah, it needs to be in there too, just in case. You got to cover yourself two ways.
Yes. Is that something we get rolled up and give to the paper and put a little article in it? Who would take care of that one? Is that something Chris could do, I guess, or Mark? Or
I'm not
No
aware.
problem to write something.
Any other old business? All right, new business. Ordinance 2018-13, rezone parcel 20M, 115, 2019.
Does somebody interpret that for me?
This is already passed on the first reading. It's the property that they had purchased out west of the railroad tracks
Oh, okay.
that we had annexed, and we did find out that
The county is just,
yeah, it just never was filed. That entire property had been annexed previously, so what we had done before was okay. And then, so all that's left to do is designate a zoning for that property, and it passed on the first reading to designate it R3. This is the second reading.
I'll make a motion to pass it.
Second.
And first, second. You want to discuss it? Any discussion? You sure? Call girl.
Alderman Joyce,
Yes.
Alderman Lawrence,
Yes.
Alderman Williams,
Yes.
Alderman Milton,
yes.
Alderman Parker. Yes.
Thank you.
Now we get down to other business. And I'm 8 minutes late.
Oh, gosh.
But I got a burr on the saddle. I had it about iron 20 minutes ago.
But I think Mark wants to remind us that the town of Chapel Hill has a table for trivia. And I think I heard it needs 3 more volunteers.
I'll address that from here.
On this planning commission we got, I sat in here iron 20 minutes ago, right close to it. It's here something come out that we're fixing to have to spend so many $1,000s or so many $1,000 to run a water and sewer line down to somewhere that was represented by somebody on the planning commission. Can somebody in this room answer me and tell me why do we have a planning commission? Because they're going to sit right there, and we got a planning commission sitting here that's compiled of all real estate or builders. And they're telling us what we're going to do and what we can't do, or what we need to do. Okay? But I know it's our job as board members to okay or not. Why do we have to have those people? Why cannot this board do that? And have that board meeting the same day we have the water and the sewer eliminate them boards, because we're gonna have to put up with it anyway.
But doesn't the planning commission serve at your pleasure?
That's the reason I bring it up to y'all. Do y'all
Yeah.
want to disband that board and us take it back over as a board? Why do we need those? If we don't need those that are something
That we gotta do anyway.
that we gonna have to do anyway, and there's something that they're gonna, why do you think they're coming in here is wanting so-and-so and so-and-so done, or making a motion for, and they're builders or contractors or real estate people?
Well, I think I'm hearing you say that the composition of the board.
I think it's a conflict of interest.
Well, but that's why I'm saying you can appoint different members, and I think.
Well, I was told that I couldn't appoint anybody
Oh, well,
until they
then-
have an opening.
Oh, okay.
No, Mayor, well, it actually, all, for the planning commission, the town has to have a planning commission to do the planning function of the town, but by statute, you appoint all of the members of the planning commission except the one
That's a board
that the
appoints.
board appoints.
Correct.
And they have a term, but they serve at your pleasure and the board's pleasure for the other spot.
Okay.
I want to clarify on what he heard at that last meeting was in 2001. That was before my term. That's what you're talking about up here.
Correct.
That was, when that was annexed was 2001, he said. Because I asked, because I didn't remember it, and so I wanted to know it was before I got.
Okay.
Mayor, I want to clarify if you're referring to the board, the utilities board that met before this meeting, but not the planning commission that
Correct.
meets 2 weeks from now, right?
Right.
So it's the utilities board that is in question here.
No, not the utilities board.
Okay.
No. Not the utilities
The planning
board.
commission.
The planning commission.
It's where you heard that we were gonna have to
But I heard it
furnish
from
them.
the water board that we're gonna have to,
Furnish them.
maybe come up, we're gonna have to furnish the water
They were
sewer out there or
annexed up
something.
there at,
I heard that today. Heard it tonight, I heard.
yeah.
I wasn't aware of it today.
Yeah, that was,
With crossing.
yeah, this is something that came up in 2000 when that was annexed, as a result of that potential plan of services that was passed when that was annexed, and that was passed by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. That's not something, the Planning Commission can't annex. So
But they can recommend.
they can recommend, but yeah, that's something that comes back from 18, 19 years ago that we're just now finding out that may exist, and that we may have to provide sewer to an area that we don't currently provide sewer to, based on that plan of services. That's why we're so careful today when annexation comes up to be very careful about what we guarantee as far as utilities goes. The last plan of services says you may have access to sewer and water when and if it becomes available, and it does not guarantee a specific time frame, and it does not guarantee that we'll have the capacity to even provide it at any given time. But yeah, this is something that didn't happen 18 years ago. Potentially, I haven't been able to track down this document. But if it was in the plan of services that we were going to do this within 3, 6, 10 years, whatever, and somebody that is from that area is saying, you owe me water or sewer, yes, then we're going to be liable for making some move toward that.
But that was the Boma instead of planning commission that falls on.
All right, now, if that being said now, what are we gonna do with, out on Eagle Road, big subdivision on the left, that we've got water running out through there, we have no sewer running out there, when's it gonna come up, that we gotta run sewer to them?
They do have sewer.
We got county sewer, we got city sewer.
Yes, there was a lift station put out on Eagle Road just for a subdivision back 10 years ago when that was first talked about. All they're doing is developing a gravity system that flows down into that lift station that currently doesn't have anything going
Now,
into
who's
it.
gonna put all them tanks in all them houses we got
The,
there?
the developer.
He said he was gonna pay for them and put them in there,
Well, he has to. I mean,
Has to,
that's,
right.
yeah, that's not
right?
something
Not on
that,
us.
no.
How many times that developer done changed hands, Rick?
With the one on Eagle Pike,
The one on the left where you get to the bridge.
oh, you're talking about Polaris.
Yeah,
That doesn't currently have sewer.
I know it doesn't. But
Uh,
when they promised sewer,
that's a plan of services I've never looked at. I'm assuming they were not, just simply from the fact that they've all got septic and probably happy with it.
I was happy with mine, but I was forced to take it anyway.
You know, sometimes we can't help but have to clean up something that you know has been done. But you know, Polaris is an area that, to my knowledge, the plan of services never guaranteed them sewer.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying it did or
I think
didn't, but
somebody needs to start looking that up, because if they find out we fix to run sewer up there, there's people out there on them for them 4 or 5 lots. Is that what he told us? Think I'm right, 4 or 5 lots, we're going to have to run them sewer down that road out there and all them rock for $200,000. And then if they hear about it down yonder, if that fireman on that last road back in there, Polaris, says, I want my city sewage, y'all promised me.
We're gonna have to do it.
no, only if the plan of services states that. And Todd, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but it all comes back to the plan of services.
It does come back to the plan of services, but I'm still not convinced that it's that they have a right to demand that they get sewer. That I think one alternative can be, if the town is in default of the plan of services, they may have the right to be de-annexed. I don't know that they've got an absolute right to have sewer, but we'd have to see what the plan of services says before we can even look at it. But
That was annexed years ago.
I understand that. And Polaris was several years ago. But they kicked that around. They used to come to every one of these meetings up in there. They had to come to every one of them. And it kicked around in here for the longest. When we going to do sewer, when we got to do something, all of a sudden it's disappeared. But now, if the man that put that subdivision in, does he still got any of that money left? If we can go back on him, I doubt it.
yeah, and one of the things that this had come up, and it was annexed before I got here, but soon after, had to do with Polaris, and I think it may have been the same annexation as these other properties. I'm not sure, but the question was raised at that time: do we have to run sewer there? And if we do, can we require everybody in Polaris even to connect to the sewer? And it was decided, I don't know if it was by the board or just by the town administrator at that time, that most of the people out there didn't want to have to connect to the sewer, and so the town wouldn't run the extension. And it hadn't been until the last 2 or 3 years, I guess, that it's come back up with the idea of running sewer to these other lots.
Yeah, this came up last week, and it's over 3 to 5 acres that may or may not be developed on feed mill over in the Winds Crossing area. And, you know, like I say, I haven't been able to locate that plan of services. I've just been told that that's what it says.
Is it right down Winds Crossing on the left of the road?
It's Alan Ball's old property.
That's not to do with that. And I know where Alan Ball's property's at, that corner lot there, that corner field lot.
That's the
there.
one he's talking about,
Right.
those.
But that wasn't in that when it was annexed on the other side of the road down, might get to in that first curve down there, curves back to your left.
What I show is that is inside the city limits, that Ball property, and from what I can gather, it was annexed at the same time as all that other property
Right.
around it. So it would, the same plan of services would apply to that property as applies to those other properties. And as long as it stays inside the city limits, we are subject to have to comply with that plan of services.
And there was right across the street there where Eddie Wall's on, he said to his daughter, his son-in-law, he ain't got city sewage, now can he request city sewage?
I'm not sure when that house was built. It wasn't in the city limits. I don't think.
Have we exceeded
He got
the
city
city
water.
limits? He got city.
That property we've
Yeah.
been talking about,
Ain't it in the city limits?
it is in the city limits.
Now,
Now,
And-
we annexed it into the city limits.
It was annexed, I believe, from what I can gather, at the same time as those other properties
Yes.
around
That's correct.
it, which came with a plan of services. And as long as those properties remain in the city limits, we are beholden to that plan of services. We're responsible for following through with whatever it said. Once again, all those places currently are on septic. Nobody wants to pay a sewer bill. Nobody's been
Their
questioned.
bill's not gonna go up 45%.
Right, and they may or may not want it. But what I'm saying is, if someone out there has been annexed, request sewer, and the plan of services said that we were going to put sewer out there, then we're responsible to do it as long as they remain inside the city limits.
But you cannot, we can't go ahead and tell the rest of them they have to hook up to it. If we run it that distance, or can we?
Yeah, if there's a sewer line running across the property,
that one
we can
property.
require,
So
I'm
we
not
would-
saying you have to, but you can require that property owner to connect to it.
Do they have to?
If we apply.
If we require it. So it can go one way, but it can't go the other.
Let's hope we can find that plan of service. Because the thing is that
You're right.
if we can't find a plan of service, how are they gonna come up with a
Well,
plan?
that's what the mayor's saying. We're gonna be in a pickle again if we ain't careful.
we done in pickle.
We're gonna be in trouble again if that's the case.
But that was the Boma's decision and not planning commission.
That's correct. I agree with you. Because we got to okay everything the planning commission tells us.
And
But whether
it's-
we want to do it or not, it's our decision, not theirs. They just make recommendations to us.
But let's go back to the water and board committee. I'm gonna have to agree with Jackie on on the mayor on some of this stuff. We do have that meeting. And one of the reasons we as a group and the board set up that meeting is to save a little time in this meeting. Because there was so much to go over at the time. And it's Mark's job to recommend and bring up things in front of the board, so we'll be prepared to bring it up in front of this board. We did that to save some time and try to come up with some resolutions that make sense, and then we bring it in front of y'all, our board, and it's supposedly supposed to save some time. And we need to do a better job of that, or not do it at all. And we're gonna have to come up with it anyway.
We have to have a planning commission vote.
Planning commission, yes.
Right. We don't want to have water board.
No,
We don't have to, no.
Okay. Planning commission board. How many people we got to have on it?
we've lost one, we had 5, now we got 4.
On the planning, now on the planning commission.
Oh, I don't know about that.
We have a 7-member board, don't we? I believe.
7?
Well, Jackie and I serve. And
two.
then we have,
6.
6, I believe it was 6.
Yeah, it should be an odd number, I think, but
Maybe it's just 5. It's,
You got
Maybe
David
maybe it's a
Jim, you got
5.
Jim,
and Zimmerly.
It is 5. But it's
Generally-
5, right?
and you've got Booker,
That's it.
do I have to keep naming them?
And you,
That's it.
It's 5.
That's fine.
It's 5. Okay. So I got to come up with 3 people beside me and Mary.
if possible,
Or
I
y'all
think
can
it would
vote
be
me
nice
off
to
and
have.
put one of y'all get
have
them. I don't care.
I think it would be nice to have them from the city if you could.
I'm trying to find them right now. And as soon as I do, I'll appoint them. They'll be sitting in the next meeting if I can. And I'll notify them personally they ain't not on the board anymore.
Now, can you do that, or do you have to wait till somebody's term expires?
No, the mayor can appoint
Anytime, go ahead.
essentially 4 positions, one of which is his, but he can designate someone to fill your position if you don't want
If
it.
anybody wants you, you sure have it. Look, we're gonna find 3 more people. We should gonna throw it on there pretty quick. Because y'all say what you want to. I still say I think it's a conflict.
I think there's been discussion about that at the post office, but
Yeah, but we need to do something. You know, put that on CNN, film to it, I don't care. Anything else? Anybody else got anything? You got something, Chief? Come on in, Stu. Go ahead.
Sugar dialogue.
I'm gonna ruffle your feathers. Right, no. Real quick park update, and then I'll bring up my request to you guys. Park's doing fantastic. The capital upgrades that they approved 2 years ago are on the way. The design, we're in the final design phases for the new visitor center, new restaurant right now. So it is almost done, and right now they're saying, close your ears, maybe winter of next year they'll start breaking ground on the project. So we'll have a new visitor center, new restaurant coming soon to the park, which will be fantastic. Lots of upgrades, but the one big thing I wanted to bring up is we had a discussion in the park in the planning meeting a couple days ago about possibly having the 4th of July fireworks at the park this year. I brought it up to Mark. He said it was worth bringing up to the council about, we thought about having a concert day at the park and doing the fireworks from down there in the big day use area. We've spoken on and off with the Todd family about shooting the fireworks off from their property across the river, having all the public on the park side of the river, and making it a big event down there. So I don't know if we talk about that today or if we need to put it on next month's agenda. But if the city's interested in even just attempting to plan it or is interested in talking about it, we want to start getting started on the planning process now, because that's going to happen real quick if that comes around.
You think the park will pay for some?
That's what I was going to ask for the state.
That's the question that you guys need to decide. I can sit here and tell you I'm not going to be able to pay for all those fireworks.
Well,
I don't have money for that in my budget.
We know that.
You know, we hope to make some revenue off the project, off the event. That's the case. That's what we're trying to do. The department's real hot and heavy on us about making money right now. I've mentioned it to many people, and everybody thinks it's a fantastic idea. But it depends on if you guys want people away from the football field and at the park, or if you receive some sort of benefit by having them at the football field, then I understand it's not a big deal. We'll move on. But it's something that's come up in conversation, and I personally think it would be a neat place to watch fireworks is on the hill over there.
You know, we have the problem with some of the fireworks coming down and burning spots out here. Are we worried about that at the park? Because we got a whole lot more vegetation than we do.
Right, so we don't, and that's something I'll talk to Matt about. We'd have to have fire trucks and stuff down there.
Can you cross? Can you cross that line, Matt? How far south do you go? I mean, that's not city limits. How does that work for you?
That would be in our territory.
Okay.
The Todd Farms.
It's outside so far. The only thing I guess I would question is the amount of people that show up here can get in and out of that park real easy. There's no doubt about that. But be surprised how many residents stay in their houses around here that actually watch it.
Yeah.
Tons of them.
Sit on their front porch.
Now they're gonna have to get out and go. But
Yeah.
the park will probably bring in more people from somewhere else. But you'd be surprised how many people watch it and never leave their house. Everybody does.
You know, remember the benefit of having the park there is not just because there's a park there. There's a financial benefit by bringing people into that park. There's a You know, the study they did a few years back is for every dollar that's spent in that park, $7 are spent in the local community. So by having more outsiders come to that park, you're having a financial benefit for the local businesses and stuff.
From my understanding, you're saying you want to do something like this stuff back in time during the day type of thing, or the music type thing?
It won't be a craft festival type thing. It'll be music and
just
food.
a festival.
Music and food and that kind of
Food
thing.
trucks.
Yeah.
Because that's a great idea. That 4th of July thing we had here about 10 years
They
ago.
had a 4th of July and yeah.
That was awesome.
The
Made
reason,
a whole
the
day
reason
out
that
of
we
it.
want to shoot the fireworks off from the Todd farm and not the park is because the park has a policy that is not allowed to have any fireworks, and that's how we
You
get
can also
around
do a
that.
car show in on that.
Yeah.
too, if you
Yeah,
go for it,
oh,
do a
yeah,
car
exactly.
show with fireworks.
So there's a lot of different options. It's going to take a lot of planning, but if the city is or is not interested, and if you guys think it's possible, then
I'd love to seek out a way to partner with the park like we're always looking to do.
Right.
I do see a lot of downside to taking the fireworks away from the center of town.
You do, okay.
With our local restaurants and, like I said, the whole town nearly watches it
Yeah,
from the porch if you want to.
they do.
So I hope there can be a way that we can make a day of it together
right.
without taking that away from the center of town.
Right.
So that's what I would suggest that we kind of look at.
If we could have
That makes
music
sense.
and everything there,
Sure.
you know, like the whole 4th of July festival, whatever date we had it, have the music and everything at the park and the food trucks for people who want to go and then come into town. That would be
Could you
fun.
charge an admission for the park for something like that, and then use the admission like $2 a person to go in, and then use that to buy the fireworks with it, or no?
Oh yeah, we can charge admission for an event like that. Yeah, no problem. But the thing is that you have to what's the admission for? First of all, is it going to be to pay for a decent band, equipment
Fireworks
rental, or are we going to pay for the fireworks, that sort of thing? I'm not so worried about making $1 as the state wants me to do as I am paying for the expense of the event. Having people in the park is my own benefit. They're going to spend money in different ways there. It depends on, and then if they're going to stay for the fireworks, if we're going to have the fireworks inside the park, well, y'all don't charge an admission here. I can't charge an admission down there just to watch fireworks. So that's a conversation that we have to
What
have.
all do we
with
sell
planning
here
phase.
when we have the fireworks? Do the ice cream? They sell ice cream.
Somebody, that.
I think it's
Oh,
The band Blue did a fundraiser
Yeah,
last year.
Fan the blue. But they could do that as well there. I'm assuming they could.
I love it the way it is now, but boy, I can sure see the advantage of having a big all day.
But still, the amount of fireworks have to be the same. That bases that on money.
How much? Do you know how much y'all spend on the fireworks?
11,000.
How much?
11,000.
Yeah,
Oh, that's about what I would
And
figure.
the price of fireworks is going up too because of all the trade wars we got going on right
Really?
now.
But I can tell you, being real close, I mean, you have to be further away if you're at the park. Everybody here gathers everywhere. You're close. You know what I'm trying to say? At the park, you're going to have to keep getting further and further and further and further back.
Going to shoot it from the other side of the river.
Yeah.
Across the river, it's no different shooting right up here.
No, I
Right.
get it.
You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing don't hit the ground past this the fence down here.
Nah, it never has.
I just think with the bands and all of that would be,
See, that's so
and the
wonderful.
food trucks.
But to
Attract a lot more
a small
people.
town.
You can do that in a circle right there too.
But you're wanting to do it on 4th of July,
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
because we usually do it.
We did
We try
fireworks.
to not compete, but if we're going to do something big, then we could be a little bit more competitive.
I mean, we're adjustable on the day. The 4th of July is what we had talked about. But I thought y'all did y'all's on the actual 4th.
We
No,
try to
we
avoid Springfield, Lewisburg, and all the other
Oh, I got you. Okay.
fireworks shows and kind of be the first out there so we don't lose any attendance
Right.
and people
Yeah.
have a chance to do 2 or 3 things. But if we're going to do a 4th of July festival, I would recommend looking at the day of the 4th and making a day of it.
Okay.
So
We're flexible. I mean, it doesn't have to be
People are
the
off
4th. We're already busy on the 4th.
When would you have to have a concrete yes or no answer?
I'd like today would like to have we're interested or not interested, or it's at least worth the conversation so that we can start.
I think you
thinking
can make
about
a whole
that.
day of the 4th at the park, but I don't know about the fireworks there at the last. We can
And
think
that's
about
worth the conversation too. I mean, it don't have to include fireworks. We may already do something anyways. But what I wanted to bring up was, are y'all interested in maybe taking the fireworks down there? So
I don't know when we'll take them away from everybody who watches them. And making people drive down through there now, leave.
I mean, it'd be hard to sit here and tell.
Can I say something?
You go ahead.
So, the fireworks as they are now, and I know I'm not in the city, but, and I've come to it for the last couple of years, but really attracts just Chapel Hill. I mean, from what I've talked to. So it's really not bringing the city a bunch of money.
No.
Something like this would attract people from around, be great for the community, and bring money into the city.
The money wouldn't come to the city on this, it'd go to the park.
We'd just be putting
It's
it.
talking about the
It
offspring of all
actually
the
comes to the businesses because
Yeah.
people are gonna spend, they're gonna
Park.
eat, they're
Go eat
gonna,
at the park.
and then they're gonna give a little.
Amigos.
I'll tell you what, you know how many
And a
people
liquor
gather
store.
up right here? The fireworks, they all eat at the gas right here immediately. The people stay at home and sit. It's for the city. We pay for it for the city. A lot of people watch it out their house.
I watch it at Dottie's.
Lots of people go to everybody's house.
You know, it's hard for me to sit here and say, okay, well, the city's gonna pay, estimated cost this next year was 11,000 last year, is that
To
right?
get out of the city.
Yeah, we're looking at 14,000 this year, because
Yeah.
Price is going
I
up.
won't go into the prices, I won't get into that. But the price is gone up, gonna go up to $14,000 come out of our taxpayers' money. And we're gonna take our taxpayers' money, and you tell this woman probably gonna pay with $240 up here taxpayer money a year, but she can't watch her 0.5%
From her
what it
house.
costs her from her house.
Yeah.
You gotta get, somebody's gotta pick you up, carry you down the park, and watch your fireworks. And it's the same thing I've been griping about for 30-something years. We spend a whole lot of money out in the county when we ought to be keeping it home.
A lot of people show up at this.
But y'all can do what you want to.
A lot of people show up right there and know everybody, and everybody knows everybody. I don't know them. I'm sorry.
I'm open for the conversation. And like I said, I don't know where I stand right now. I see you have both ways. I love it the way it is, but boy, that could turn into
Can
something
we
big.
just kick it around?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you guys want to vote on whatever needs to happen on the next meeting in
Next
February,
board meeting, we'll sure bring it back up again. And maybe we can sit here by ourselves and think what we're gonna do.
we'll start the
And
process
start
down
the
there and see what
process
we can come
then.
up with.
Either way, I'll help you.
As I tell Mark every single time that Mark and I talk, everything that we do down there benefits the city. Everything the city does benefits the park. So whatever you guys decide, we're going to go along with. This is an idea that we came up with.
Been saying it for years. We sitting here with a country club and our side door down there.
Right.
South of it's got a country club down there. Got everything down there we need. I understand that.
So
But still, again, we gotta understand. I've got
I agree.
them or some people in town looking up.
They're paying for this.
I can
Paying for
name,
these problems
I know
too.
20, I could write name off 20 people that have a cookout. And they sit there and they watch them fireworks right there.
All right. Well, y'all put it on the next agenda if you would.
Okay.
We'll talk about it next month. I think I'm going to be here next month
And you
anyway.
have a festival there March 30th too. I saw that.
We're having the festival March 30th. That's River Day.
I
Yeah.
have a quick question. Has Tower World closed down?
Tower World's gone. They told us.
Tower World
Lack of
gone.
business or
He
what?
couldn't keep up.
Couldn't.
They couldn't keep all the employees.
This may be a hiatus.
But the employees, I mean, I'm right next door to them. Some, they just, yeah, they had a hard time. I'm just having to say that.
Well, I know they have a hard time. You know, they probably wouldn't pay them though.
He's paying them pretty good. The tax anyway, yeah.
They went out to help their neighbors if they have
yet you built that new fence back there.
I built every bit of that. Me and my son, they didn't touch it. They didn't touch it.
Only because he's smiling.
Yeah, I was just smiling. I know you built that fence. He could have
I
done
want to invite everybody to the trivia night at Forest. Get the team of 6 together. It's a good cause for the Alumni Association. We do scholarships.
When is it?
And
It's the 26th.
the town's team is looking for 3 more people.
Mark, who else?
I'll be in Atlanta.
You know, story you told me Ohio this afternoon.
This man here
This man here's smart.
He is.
Look for me on there.
Oh, yeah.
Chris is on it.
Chris is on it.
Right now it's me and Chad and Andrew.
There you go.
You need some. Come on.
You need a woman,
Yeah.
and you need an old person. I've got my team.
Oh, you got to.
We're gonna win, so y'all gonna
Miss
accept
Knox,
me.
you're pretty smart.
Yeah, big outsiders, and
My
that's big
son should
outsiders.
remember.
You got a team together? Huh? You get a team
Can be
together?
outsiders, does that have to be somebody on this board?
I don't have anybody on this board. I can't be on there. I make all the questions.
I know some smart
Well, you're a
people.
ringer, then.
I want you on my team.
Well, I'm just saying.
Y'all think about it, you know everybody wants to be on it, we sure do. They sure do need it, because they don't be on it.
I know,
Well, you
I know a
lied
smart
for
individual.
women.
It's trivia.
I know some smart people.
You don't have to be smart.
Come on, Brian, you can do it.
You get with me the Sunday beforehand. I'll give you a time. Yes or
Hey, we
no.
done went over 40 minutes. Anybody else got anything?
You broke your own rule.
I know that, I'm sorry.
I moved
But I
to
still don't know.
adjourn, man.
Got a motion to adjourn. Have a
I
second.
second.
In discussion. See y'all all go back.
Turn the camera on.
I would
If we have to split it in both directions, or however you want to do it, I'm more than willing to help out with that.